Hey everyone, it's Michael Kikle. I hope you're doing well today, and I have a review here from another one of these box sets I've been working my way through. This is pretty much the last review I'm going to do for this Aid movie Hallmark wannabe set, but it's one called Borrowed Hearts, and apparently it's a 1997 movie, a TV movie, I guess. It's an hour and a half long. It stars Roma Downey and the guy that plays Will on Will and Grace, which was very surprising when my wife and I realized who was in this movie. Anyway, this is very much a Hallmark wannabe, but in a good way. Let me tell you, most of the films in this box set have been a big hit and miss with me, mostly misses, if you guys have been watching the reviews and hearing what I said about some of them that I saw many years ago. But then you have the last few that I watched, including this one, The Great Rupert, which was a squirrel movie from like 1950 with Jimmy Durante. Excellent watch, recommended highly. The Man Who Saved Christmas, which stars Jason Alexander, another really good one. Borrowed Hearts was very much more in tune with like the traditional, what we know nowadays as a Hallmark movie, where you have two people who don't know each other falling in love in a Christmas time setting, maybe some kind of weird hijinks or situation, some kind of wacky adventure they're stuck in. And this was no different. One of the guys, I think his name is Ed on Last Man Standing, is also in this too, which was cool to see him. But anyway, so basically Will from Will and Grace is a rich business owner who has a factory, and Roma Downey works in that factory and has a daughter. She's a single mom. Apparently the husband took off. Nobody knows where he is. He calls maybe every once in a while, but for the last 6 months or so, he's been gone, and she just assumes he's left them permanently. So she one day, by the way, her daughter has a dollhouse that she loves, and one day they're driving down the street, even though the daughter made a Christmas wish to be able to have a home just like that dollhouse. They're driving around and they see the actual home that is like her dollhouse. The little girl jumps out of the car, goes running inside, and it turns out it's the mom's boss from Will and Grace. And again, he's very rich, lives in this huge house, a big old mansion-looking place, and that particular man has a business partner, Ed from Last Man Standing, coming in to actually spend Christmas with him for a couple of days, or like a week or something like that. And he needs a fake family because his buddy told this business partner that he had a family, specifically a wife and a child, and they keep picking up like actors and actresses and nothing's working out with that. But when he meets Roma Downey and her daughter, when they wander into his home, at the last minute, matter of fact, he decides to go ahead and go with them, ask them, pay them like triple what he was going to pay the original actors and actresses for this little role, if you will, just to spend time in this house with him and pretend to be his family when this visitor comes by and stays there. So they go along with it, and that's pretty much the general setup of the movie, and I really enjoyed this. Yes, it sounds formulaic. Yes, it sounds like your typical Hallmark movie. I don't have a problem with that because I enjoy that, my wife enjoys that. That formula works for me, despite it being repetitive. Yes, that's the same situation with this movie. If you don't like those for being repetitive, you're not going to like Borrowed Hearts for being repetitive. But the way it's shot as a TV movie, the kind of budget behind it when it came to the setting, the decorations, I don't remember many movies on TV looking like this when I was growing up, and maybe I'm wrong for that, but when I look at like the rest of the movies in this set I've been kind of working through over the years, the other movies don't look like this. They don't seem to have the non-California feel, like they don't just have movies that aren't having snow in them outside and whatnot, whether it be from real snow or a snow machine. This movie doesn't have that. It feels like a real Christmassy Hallmark movie, and it's a love story, and I liked it. And I think that the guy playing the rich factory owner guy from Will and Grace, I'm just going to keep calling him Will from Will and Grace, make it easier on everybody here, he is fantastic. He is so good in this movie. I've never seen Will and Grace. Maybe one episode on a rerun when I was a very young kid, but that's it. He is magnificent here. He really is. Even for this little film, he tries to do so much with it. The guy, Ed, from Last Man Standing and Princess Diaries, he's in this, like I said, and he's really good. Roma Downey was pretty good for what she had to do here. I'm not even the biggest Roma Downey dude. She's a little weird, you know, but she's cool here. I liked her a lot. Even the little girl in the movie playing the daughter was pretty decent for most of the film. So anyway, Borrowed Hearts, I was very impressed with it. It has a decent score for it. It doesn't feel cheap. The house is beautiful. It's a great location for a Christmassy movie. A lot of it takes place in that house and in that warehouse that she works at. So it was fun watching this movie. I had a good time with it. Some of the humor of trying to pierce the cold heart of this boss and how he's kind of just secluded from the world, doesn't celebrate Christmas really or anything like that. All those tropes are here, but it worked really well for me and what they did here with how well made it was. But I loved it. I genuinely think it's one of the better kind of Hallmarky style movies, and maybe even kicked Hallmark into gear of doing something more like this. So if I had to rate Borrowed Hearts on a 5-star basis, this is going to seem really high. Maybe it won't hold up on a rewatch or anything, but I would give it like a 4 out of 5 stars. I think it's way above a 3. This is above average for me. I would almost give it a 5, but I don't think it gets that high for me. That's really for movies I absolutely adore and love. But in a lot of ways, I really did adore and love this because, again, the guy from Will and Grace, he killed it in this movie. He was so fucking good. Anyway, have you seen it? What do you think about it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on this rando TV movie I'm reviewing. Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Let me know what you think about Borrowed Hearts. What's your favorite movie like this? Made by Hallmark, not made by Hallmark? I'd love to hear all that down below, too. Merry Christmas. God bless you again. Catch you later, and goodbye.